Welcome to 10 Minutes with Tony Scott. I'm Tony Scott, and I really appreciate you tuning into today's show. We are very lucky today to be in our new sports desk here. I love the new look of it. Today's show is sponsored by Shock Doctor. Shock Doctor is a leader in mouthguard technology. They are the #1 mouthguard in the world. This Gel Nano is the mouthguard we are handing out to our Shock Doctor player of the games all year long. Shock Doctor was the proud sponsor of our Minnesota State all-tournament teams and our NOW rankings this year. Shock Doctor, hardcore protection, fearless performance. Now that the winter season is over, we can turn our attention to postseason awards. By now, most readers of YHH have read two of our award finalists have been announced. The Wiz Wyatt Pee Wee Player of the Year finalists were announced a couple weeks back, as were the Bantam Player of the Year finalists. Several great candidates were revealed. Our Wiz Wyatt Squirt finalists and the YHH Goal of the Year finalists will also be released this week. All 4 winners will be announced on 10 Minutes with Tony Scott in April. Speaking of great players, we are slowly adding publicly available statistics to our player profiles of NOW prospects. Here are a few stats of players that jumped off the page to our crack research staff. Noah Cates from Stillwater had a great sophomore campaign for the Ponies, netting 13 goals and 17 assists. Former Bantam Player of the Year finalist Scott Perunovich for Hibbing had 11 goals and, get this, 42 assists for the Blue Jackets. If you haven't seen this kid play, it is a must. Chase Brand from Park Rapids had 19 goals and 37 assists for the Panthers this year as a sophomore. Ben Myers from Delano topped off a great season with 18 goals and 32 assists and a total of 50 points as a sophomore for the Tigers. He is a player all the scouts have been raving about. Top 2018 kids that had great years. Jackson Nelson from Laverne High School was 3rd in Minnesota in scoring as a freshman with 83 points. Austin Pratt had 17 goals and 29 assists for Shattuck St. Mary's U16 team this year. He will also likely get an invite to the U.S. National Program in Ann Arbor. Speaking of 18 NOW prospects getting invites, we suspect NOW prospect Mike Anderson from Hill Murray will get an invite to the U.S. team too. Dev McCabe had 46 points for St. Paul Academy, and Jack Olson had 11 goals and 18 assists for Lakeville South. Last week, invites for our NOW Prospects Combine went out to the players from all over Minnesota. The cities where kids are committing from have been amazing. We have players from all over the Twin Cities, Rochester, Hermantown, Coleraine, Moorhead, St. Cloud, and many more cities from the outstate. The camps for boys and girls will take place in June at the University of Minnesota, where they'll be coached and evaluated by Grant Batalny and several of his players. On the weekend of the camp, the players will play a fun 3-on-3 tournament and be tested at the Lumberyard in Stillwater. At the completion of the camp, we will announce our initial list of NOW prospects for the class of 2020. Over the next 6 weeks, we'll be covering several great events. This weekend, we will take a look at the Selects and Super Series events in St. Cloud and Plymouth. In April, we'll be hosting the Warrior Cup at rinks all over the Twin Cities. Several great teams and tournaments for kids ages 2001 to 2006. Following the Warrior Cup, we plan to have huge coverage of the Spring HP15 Festival held this year in Plymouth. Speaking of coverage, today we released our list of teams we think will be top 5 teams next year. No surprise, Edina tops the list at Bantam AA, Pee Wee AA, and U12A. And we think Osseo Maple Grove will continue their surge as the top team in Squirt A, but watch out for Champlin Park and Andover in District 10. Park Cottage Grove will be tops in Pee Wee A, and St. Paul will be tops in Bantam A. A lot of changes will take place over the next 11 months, I'm sure. Tweet of the week. Instead of highlighting a funny tweet that we saw this week, I'm going to point out a tweet we sent that got a lot of attention. It read, "Fact, Minnesota State High School hockey tourney attendance, 135,000. Big Ten hockey tourney attendance, 16,000. And anyone who watched the games, that is generous." That tweet garnered 44 retweets and 59 favorites. Not because of the quality of the tweet, likely because the topic of college hockey tourney attendance was a hot button in our world. Speaking of our tweets, we've tweeted a few times that the WCHA and NCHC should consider merging their tournaments into one event. One of our tweets said, "Half of something is way more than all of nothing." Come on, the state is clamoring for good college hockey. Just look at the North Star Cup attendance this winter as your model. Boom roasted. Last week we emptied the chamber in our speed round. This week we only have one. It goes to Jim Delaney, the commissioner of the Big Ten. In your perpetual quest to sell out every last inch of your soul, you forgot to sell tickets to the Big Ten hockey tournament last weekend. It was almost as if you built a barricade around Joe Louis Arena. Boom, roasted. Thumbs up. This week, thumbs up goes out to all the kids we saw this weekend in their hockey jackets at the WCHA and NCHC tournaments in the Twin Cities. All these kids aspire to play college hockey someday. It's these kids and their parents that help fill up the Target Center and excel. Thumbs up to them. Thanks for tuning in to today's show, and we look forward to seeing you around the rink. Have a nice day.